My name is Ryan Mikles, Vice Chancellor of Business Innovation and Economic Development on the ATU Ozark campus. And today I have Mr. Mark Clarke with me. Mark, welcome.
Well, thank you, Ryan. It's good to be here with you today.
Absolutely. Today we're going to be talking about a micro-credential that you've been instrumental in helping the university put together with another group, Education Design Lab. But before we get into that micro-credential, the name of the micro-credential is Essentials of Supervision. But talk to us about your journey as a supervisor and your experiences over the years and how that shaped the way that you lead, and ultimately how you're going to teach this course.
Holy cow.
Loaded, right?
That is a big question. Well, many years ago, when I graduated from college, my very first job was a frontline supervisor in a manufacturing lab. And I was thrown into that job leading, I think there were probably 3 or 4 people on the team. And I didn't have a clue of what I was doing, right? So I really learned by observing the other managers or supervisors at that plant. And at that time, leadership really was micromanaging, right? So I would say, hey, Ryan, today I want you to do X. And you would run off and you'd do that job and you come back and say, okay, Mark, I got that done. What next? I said, well, okay, Ryan, you're going to do Y now, right? So my day was spent telling people what to do, right? And you can imagine if all day long you're just telling people what to do, your effectiveness as a leader and moving the business forward is really diminished, right? Along the way of my journey of leading people, I realized there's better ways to do that, and that the power of the people and their collective knowledge and their wisdom and their opportunity to use their voice in the workplace really was kind of the, lack of a better word, the secret sauce to success, right? That if collectively all of us are working together, we're going to come up with better ideas, better ways of doing business, better ways to make a quality product in a safe environment than just one guy, one supervisor, like in my case, a new guy right out of college, making decisions day to day for what people have to do.
Wow. That, I think you're right. That collaboration and be able to hear, you get a little bit more buy-in from the folks.
Sure.
If they can hear, have some input on how things need to be run, how we might be able to do it better and keep everybody safe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When we're looking at this micro-credential, now the micro-credential again is called Essentials of Supervision, but we have noticed as we're putting this course together, there's a lot of places that offer courses on supervision on that topic. What do you think the one thing that'll make this stand out for supervisors for this course?
Yeah, along the way of my career, I had opportunity to send people to training like supervisor training, much like this course. And what I would see, people would go to the course for the day or for the week, and they'd come back and they were really managing the same way or leading the same way.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing really changed. And I too went to those courses, and a lot of times those courses were just a plethora of PowerPoint slides where people sat in the audience and they just listened to the speaker drone on, hour after hour. So what I really love about this course is really 2 things. The first thing is we're going to do a pre-assessment with the employee as well as their supervisor to really get a handle on what their skill levels are, what their strengths are as a supervisor, and really some of the areas of opportunity that they could work on. And so we'll be sending out a pre-assessment, and each person will be doing that. And then those will come back to us, and we'll compile all the data. We'll see where the common strengths are. The supervisor thinks that the employee is strong in this area and vice versa. We'll see those areas where we see some gaps, right? Where the supervisor may say, hey, you're not strong in this area. And along the way in the course, we're going to take those opportunities for growth, and we're going to really work with that particular employee or student to shore those things up. So that's the first thing. We're going to do a lot of feedback to the employee as well as the supervisor to really make sure they understand if they're growing and along the way. The second thing is the way we're teaching the course is, man, it's just hands-on, right? So it's not me setting up, lecturing people, right? Because I'm terrible at that. It's really hands-on. So we're going to present some ideas on different topics such as communication, leadership, conflict resolution. Man, that's
another big one, right?
That's a huge one,
yeah.
Right? And so we're going to share ideas of how we can shore up those skills, and then we're going to practice them in class.
That's amazing.
Hands-on, right? Because like anything, right, you can't get good unless you practice.
Sure.
Right? And other things we're going to do, we're going to have some guest speakers come in and talk about these topics and share their journey and their ideas and what worked for them, what didn't work for them. So they're going to hear firsthand some real leaders that have some experience, right? That they may not have.
That is absolutely amazing to think about. It's more like a customized leadership course for each individual person. And you think, man, how can you do that for each person? Well, we touch base and figure out where do we start?
Absolutely.
Well, here's where they are.
Absolutely.
And now we look for those areas of opportunity. Those are areas that we can work on. We take what you're really good at, share why you're really good at that with the rest of us.
So the cool thing about this is, we're going to limit the enrollment. So we have a pretty small class size so we can really have that individual interaction and really work on those skill sets that people need to work on, as opposed to these classes that are offered. You have 150 or 100 people in an auditorium.
Sure.
And again, somebody lecturing, and that you really don't get much out of that.
I don't. Yeah, I've never gotten so much out of that to sit there and listen to somebody lecture me on this is what you should do.
Right.
You haven't really made an impression on me for wanting to change how I'm leading others.
So. And you have no opportunity to practice it.
That's right.
Right.
Looking back over your career, what do you think are some of the moments or situations that really shaped you as a supervisor, or things that probably every new supervisor should be prepared to handle?
Well, let me share with you a bad example and a good example.
Can we start with the bad one first?
Oh, of course. Let's get it out.
Beautiful. That's right.
Let's get it out of the way.
All right.
All right. So as a new supervisor, like I said, I was just thrown into that job. And I really didn't have a good understanding of how to best communicate ideas and expectation to the people that work for me. And so the very first person that I fired was really due to my inability to communicate expectations in a calm and rational way.
Oh, wow.
And to this day, I regret that. I tell you, situation happened that could have been resolved very quickly just through a normal conversation like you and I are having today. But I escalated it by my reaction to the situation.
Right.
And the net of that was a longtime employee with a lot of experience left the business because of my actions.
Wow.
And it could have been handled so much differently if I would have just knew how to communicate better.
Yeah.
The second thing was really a good thing, okay, and really what maybe spurred me on and gets me excited about leading people is one of my first jobs I was promoted into was as a quality manager. And we had a group of people in the department that their only job was to inspect raw material that came in the back door from our vendors to make sure that the quality of the material was good. And there was this one lady that her job was to inspect packaging material. And so this was in a plant where we made baby wipes. And if you know baby wipes, there's that hard shell container that the baby wipes go into and has a lid, and you open it up and just spins the baby wipes out.
Sure.
So her job was to make sure that those packaging components was good. So she would set literally hours in a day opening and closing the lids of these parts to make sure that the hinge was strong all day long. That's what she did. Open, close, open, close. And I saw there was really no value in that.
Right.
And so eliminated her job. Now she's a longtime employee too, right? And she had a lot of experience. And so talked to her. We had a job opening where part of the job was doing data entry in the computer. And offered her that job. Hey, you can figure this out. She was very afraid, very worried.
Oh, sure, something new, right?
Brand new, right? Something she had never been exposed to. But anyway, she had a great attitude. She went into the office and started doing that work. And over this short period of time, maybe a month or two, she really got caught on to the job. And she was extraordinarily proud of that fact. And man, that was my catalyst to see someone doing something that wasn't really value added to all of a sudden being a great contributor and doing something they never thought they could do. And that just spurs me on.
That's got to give you that really good feeling to know I had a part in helping with that situation.
Absolutely. You want people to be successful and feel good about what they do.
Yeah.
We work a lot of hours of our life, and doing something you enjoy and something that you're proud of, it really is critical in my mind.
That's amazing. Looking back over your history and the supervisors that you've had over the years, who really shaped you and influenced the kind of supervisor that you are today? Okay,
let's do the good bad thing again.
Okay,
let's start with the bad.
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
Okay, the bad was I worked for this guy. This is my first job as a plant manager, family-owned business. The manager or the owner of the company was definitely a hands-on guy. The environment there was an environment of fear, right? So people were motivated because they were afraid of the repercussions of not doing something that would satisfy the owner. And so it was a environment of yelling, screaming, hollering, cussing, threatening, firing.
Wow.
Nothing positive about it. People worked extremely long hours, but he paid people very well. And the reason he paid people very well because they didn't stick around otherwise, right?
When you said bad, you weren't kidding, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I learned in that situation was what I didn't want to be as a supervisor.
Right.
And how that environment impacted things such as productivity. Because when he stepped away from the business, right, all the threats and everything went away. So people weren't as effective as they were when he was looking over their shoulder and, with the big stick, so to speak.
Right.
So that was, that's what I learned from a bad supervisor.
Right.
I knew I didn't.
Don't be this guy.
Don't be this guy, right? Then the good was I actually had a couple of really good supervisors when I, in another position in another company, I was promoted to operations manager. And the general manager at that point in time was a guy that I will describe as kind of innovative for a time. He talked about things like high-performance operating teams, talked about lean, Toyota production system.
That's a different environment.
Yeah, different environment, right, where you really utilize people and understand the value to the organizations. I mean, they're the greatest resource you have. Right?
Sure.
And so I really got to practice under him, things like I said, like teams and lean, and really saw how people developed and blossomed and, again, doing things they never thought they could do. It was an opportunity for people to have a voice in the organization where they could share their ideas, or they could be creative. And man, again, that just really resonated with me. So I really appreciated working for him. Then the other guy that I worked with that I learned a lot from is someone that probably had more structured approach to leadership. And being a creative guy, I needed some of that structure.
Right.
And he taught me the importance of defined processes and procedures, and why those things are important from a production variability standpoint, from a quality perspective,
Right.
even from a safety perspective. Why
Safety. Right.
procedures and processes are so important. So, I benefited from an array of supervisors and different ways.
Even from the bad supervisors, we learned we still pick something up from that, saying, we probably don't want to do that. Going
At the
forward.
time I thought, I'll never learn anything from this guy. But,
Ultimately, we did, right? We learned
really
what
did.
not to do.
right, but really I did. I really learned a lot from him. So
Wow. Talk to us a little bit about your relationship with Arkansas Tech Ozark, and how did you end up partnering with us to be able to teach this course?
yeah, that's a great question. So when I first moved to Russellville, I'd worked for Rockline for 26 years in my career. But midway through that, I was promoted to plant manager or general manager here at the Russellville plant. And so, part of the job as a general manager to kind of be the face of the company. And so I get involved in the Chamber of Commerce and, organizations like that. And I met folks from Arkansas Tech Career Center. Pat Edmonds was the first person I met. And I loved the ATCC, ATU Ozark openness to try something new.
Yeah.
And their openness to create programs and training opportunities that really fit tailor-made for my plant,
Yeah.
right? And so just over the years, I just really respected how they did business, and how they were wanting workforce development, be successful in the River Valley, and develop some great friendships along the way. And that's why I'm here today, because I
That's
believe
amazing.
in what they do.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, is that, and it doesn't matter really what course of life that we're in, relationships are a huge part of everything that we do. So that's amazing. From your experience, what are some of the most common challenges do you think these supervisors are going to struggle with when they're just getting started? I know those can really, really trip folks up just right out of the gate. But how do you think this course might be able to kind of help walk them through and build that skill set to be able to help with those challenges?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the first ones that really tripped me up, and there were a lot of them, obviously, based on my story, right? But I ended up managing my friends. So where I was, friends with somebody, I got promoted, and then all of a sudden became their supervisor.
Yeah.
Man, that was really difficult, right? And there was some fallout as a result of that.
Sure.
So I think as new supervisors, we have to learn how to lead people that we're familiar with, that are familiar with us, in a way that's constructive to both the employee as well as to the business.
Yeah.
The other thing, I think, conflict resolution is a hard one for a lot of people. When we talk about how do we communicate our expectations, a lot of us, maybe all of us, right, never like the situation where we have to have those difficult conversations with people that work on our team.
Right.
I will say that not only new supervisors or frontline supervisors, probably all the way through the organization, nobody really.
Probably,
Yeah.
that's probably the hardest part of the job, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'd say if you like to do that, then you're probably not a very good leader. But, as new leaders, that's really something that, trips us up, right?
Yeah.
You can't let those opportunities for coaching get by you, because it doesn't help the employee, it doesn't help the business,
Right.
and ultimately it didn't help your credibility as leader, because other people are watching you.
That's right.
it doesn't help anyone if you don't take the time to talk with folks and give them opportunities for improvement via feedback.
Right.
So, I think those are a couple things that as a new leader and even as a seasoned leader, that's often hard. And those are some of the things in this course we're going to talk about.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think you said it. Communication, with that feedback, there's a way to deliver that.
Sure.
But you've got to practice.
Sure, absolutely. It's like anything else. You don't get good until you practice.
That's right. That's right. Mr. Clarke, I appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing this class launch out.
All right. I enjoyed it, Ryan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.